All right, my friends, welcome to episode 346 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony, the dev at Summer Speak. Anthony, I have news for you. I found my Wii U.
It happened.
It did.
Finally.
I hit it for myself.
After how long?
It's been a fucking year, dude. It's been about a year.
You've been complaining about this for a while.
A long time. Where my
and
wife...
being like, someone must have stole it. I'm like, it seems really weird that they would steal that and not the more expensive electronics that were around.
Like the TV that was connected to it.
You value the Wii U very highly, so you expect everyone else to value the Wii U very highly. And I will say, based on Wii U sales, it's not valued very highly. Just letting you know.
I have been looking recently because I was like, well, I got to rebuy it if I truly don't have it, which is silly. I don't know if I need to do that, but it was like, it's like $300, $400 for a fucking Wii U.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like, goddamn. No one has them. Yeah, exactly. So I found it, brought it in the house. My daughter's very excited to have the Windwaker machine back.
It's a good name.
Yeah, we immediately restarted Windwaker, and she's very excited. And then took my daughter to outdoor gymnastics, and they all sat before class and pretended to be butterflies. And the teacher asked them, "Where are you going to fly to?" And the first student said, "I want to fly to an ice cream parlor." Second student said, "I want to fly to my friend's house." And then they got to my daughter, and she said, "I want to fly to the dark world." And the teacher said, "What?" She said, the dark world. Okay. And moved on. And I just fell over laughing. I'm like, I'm Father of the Year over here. We just finished
Dark
the
World.
Four Swords manga where Dark Shadow Link comes from the Dark World. Fuck. It was amazing.
You gotta put some your daughter, I know she's young, but I think it's time to start emphasizing the goth makeup now. Like we're there. She's going. Got to go to that dark, broody world.
Dark world. Jesus, kid. Oh my God. I just died of embarrassment and also pride.
Yeah, I would be more in pride there, being like, "Yep, sure."
So she loved that. How was your weekend?
Fine. All my family's back now, so beyond that, doing a bunch of chores yesterday, just trying to get stuff cleaned up. All the yard work. It's been pretty chill. Decompressing from the game jam that I did last week.
Yeah. You feel that went well?
It went great. I had a great time. I don't know how everyone else... Well, actually, I know how a few people felt about my game overall. Mm-hmm. They made my 3-person team. So it was me going into it who thought maybe was going to do this thing solo. I didn't know. What did you knock off?
Fuck my keyboard, my mouse. Fuck it.
God.
Everything tonight is just a fucking mess.
Now hit your head on the mic and let's just do the trifecta all at once. Get it out of your system.
Okay, here we go. There we go.
But yeah, I thought I was gonna do it all alone. I was all prepared for just borrowing art assets from where I could find them and everything. But actually, there were 2 what we called free agents, which were artists. One being a 2D and 3D artist, and another that is animation.
Nice.
And so they were on board for the idea, and we all just kind of worked in our own lanes and got through 4 fully animated characters by the end, and got to make this thing that it's a game I wanted to play, and that's really all that matters.
Yes.
So I played it. I'm like, well, this is exactly what I wanted to play. Why did I make this? Because this is what I want.
That's awesome.
But there were a few other people on the team when it came to where everyone could play stuff on Friday that were messaging me being like, I want this full game. Make more of it, please.
Tell my boss. I'd love to spend time on it.
Yeah, I'd love to make more of this. Which I can talk about the game. Make more of this letter spelling auto battler.
Yes.
So I just missed making a word game. But I will say, I knew this was likely the case with any kind of word game. People really love sharing the words that they spell. So our general thread for the game jam and our Slack, there's a lot of people just posting their words on whichever characters. Someone is like, "Look it's Hamlet with hookah."
That's awesome.
Or the creature with maze.
And they were
look at that word bonus. I'm like, yeah, it's a word bonus. Like, good job.
and they were sharing like screenshots. You didn't have like a share embedded in it.
No,
Yeah, that's
they were
cool.
just taking screenshots. They're like, look at this. I'm like, which I knew. I mean, you do anything where you can spell words, and you get bonuses for the words based on length and letter value. I was just using Scrabble letter values.
Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, look at this.
That's so cool, man.
I'm like, oh, that's right.
Do you think this is something you're gonna like tinker with on your in your free time more, or?
I mean, I can tinker some, but the thing is I'm not expecting any of the artists to want to continue.
Yeah.
And so without artists, I'm kind of screwed because
Right.
you can't make art for the life of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at borrowing art and stealing from other games to make prototypes, but
Like does UE5 or UE4 or whatever you use? If you, I don't know if you're you.
I was using UE4.
You
I was
were?
using
Okay.
UE4. Yeah.
Is there like a marketplace where you can like?
There is marketplace for some things, but I'm very particular about the art style that I want. I just don't think I can find it on there because this everything was full 3D backgrounds. Actually, the artist modeled out was kind of gray box with some nice textures of the Globe Theater.
Oh, cool.
So like you're looking as the characters are fighting on the Globe Theater stage.
Right.
And the character, but that's all 3D modeled, and the characters are they are 3D objects, but they're 2D. Like think Paper Mario in a way.
Yeah.
And they turn like that, like the Paper Mario style. They're flat and they can look both directions. So, which did go over really well. People liked the look of that, and I'm like, I don't know. Whenever I have ideas for things, I'm like, get pretty particular with how they should look. Freedom for other people to take their own interpretation of that, but I'm like, no, I really want a 3D background with like 2D flat 2D 3D models, basically.
Right. Well, they're
with
characters out of a book, right? Or out of paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like, and I made them at the start of battles and stuff pop up from the stage, so they're laying flat and they stand up like pop-up book style.
Right.
And whenever a character is killed or defeated, they fall over back flat
Very
onto
cool.
the stage.
I would love to play this.
stuff,
This sounds awesome.
You can play it. I will
Ooh, yes.
have a share of it, and you can download and play the thing. It probably takes 15 minutes tops to play the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not long because Game Jam we had 3.5 days.
Right. It's like a
actually.
proof of concept.
It's very much proof of concept. But it has the core mechanics, and it was a lot of fun. So I spent the weekend decompressing from some pretty intense game jamming.
Yeah, you were scarce around the Discord. I was like, he's working right now.
I worked through the day. I took about 2.5, 3 hours at night to have dinner and see my family. And once the kids were in bed, from about 8 till midnight, 1 in the morning, I was working again.
Yeah.
And people were like, you don't need to do this. And I'm like, I do need to do this because I want to play this game.
Right.
This is not work telling me I need to do this. This is me going, I have a chance to make the game that I wanted to play for years.
Yeah.
Let me make I want this game.
I'll sleep later.
Exactly. I did. That was the weekend. Actually, it was because I had a game. I had the game in Thursday afternoon, so I slept pretty well Thursday night.
Good.
Felt really good though. I'm always happy to have some just burst of creativity like that.
Yeah, it's really nice. It seems like it's really fun to have like a forced burst of creativity.
Yeah. And everyone made some really cool projects in there. I think in the end there were 8 teams, 8 games, and they were all so unique and really neat. None of them, like I would say, are letdowns at all or anything. Like it was a lot of fun.
Well, it's fun to make and then get to play other people's stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this week we're going to talk about other people's stuff some more. We're going to talk about Nintendo's strategy, or lack of strategy, talking about the games that are coming out. And then Warframe devs have a new game coming out, and a couple of other hodgepodge of news items, and then stuff we're playing. Let's talk about Nintendo. Bayonetta 3 got announced this week. Not announced,
right?
but the release date, and we got some gameplay. Finally, it was like 2017 when Reggie was still at Nintendo when they initially announced Bayonetta 3.
Had they? How many trailers have they shown?
Not that
I know
many.
there was that original one when
Yeah.
they announced it.
Well, that
Has
was
there
just a
been
logo, I
another
thought.
one?
No, I don't think there has. I think they announced a logo, and I thought that was it.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, because they announced that
Game Awards.
yeah, and there was going to be the first Bayonetta is coming to Switch as well.
They did
Or is
announce
that
it this week too. The first one's coming out. I
Okay.
was surprised because why would you announce one and not two coming to Switch? So maybe that's coming later.
That's a good question.
Because I saw
You would
that,
think
yeah, you'd think they'd do both.
yeah.
They did a combo pack for the Wii U. You could had both discs, which is good because I own that, and now I found my Wii U, so I'm all good. But I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe that's coming. But Bayonetta 3 is coming October 28th, and Nintendo's fall seems to be filling in. To be honest,
A little bit, definitely. Because there's Pokemon.
Yep. Splatoon and then Xenoblade 3.
Yeah, from end of this month on.
Right.
Like they at least have some big things. It's still. I mean, I guess Pokemon is. I don't know if I consider Pokemon first party or not. It's a weird first party. First party asterisks, because it's not. It's Game Freak, which they kind of. No, they don't own Game Freak. Game Freak's its own thing.
But they own like a huge share.
They
of
own a portion of Pokemon.
Oh, I see. Got it.
I think Game Freak, Nintendo, and one other company. It's managed by the Pokemon Company, which was founded by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures.
Mm.
So 3 companies own the Pokemon Company. And because Nintendo owns it, that's why the console games are only on Nintendo consoles.
Right.
But it's not really first party. Game
Yeah,
Freak is not required, as far as I know, is not owned at all by Nintendo.
Well, they put games, not Pokemon, but other stuff they put on other consoles. There was
Yeah.
that Rhino, or whatever the fuck it was, this Rampaging Rhino game or something. I can't remember what
Yeah.
it
Yep.
was. That was on, I played it on PlayStation. Or Xbox, maybe. But, these are exclusives, though. So think about the exclusives.
Exclusives. Yeah.
They've got an exclusive in July. I don't think August, but then September, October, November. They have one big exclusive every month, pretty much. So I'm not sure. Like,
I'm waiting for their first party, though. I'm waiting for them, like Nintendo, to say we have, what was the rumored is like Metroid Prime remake?
Metroid Prime remake or Windwaker and Twilight Princess are the two.
I figure at least some of those are coming, just because that it lets Nintendo as a first party developer be like, here's some stuff from us as well to sweeten the pot overall.
Right.
While waiting for whatever their next big first party thing is, because we're not getting Breath of the Wild 2 for a while.
No, and I feel like if there is a first party thing coming, there's one for this year, which is why maybe a Nintendo Direct first party thing isn't actually happening. That we'll see whatever it is as a tweet this next week or the week after.
Possible.
Well, Bayonetta 3 was a huge deal, and like, here's a tweet. So if it is,
here's a tweet and a trailer.
Yeah,
Go.
If it is going to be a remake, then I think that fits that.
Yeah.
So we'll see which one it is, Metroid or Link. Metroid or Zelda.
Yeah. I'd say it's probably one, and then the other one's probably held until the spring.
Yeah.
In the February-ish time frame would be my expectation.
I just feel like it's going to be Link or Zelda, because I feel like if you go back X amount of years, they've had a major Zelda game every year. And there has not been one this year. So, and we, recently had Dread. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Dread was this year, right?
It was this year? No, it was last year.
It was. I don't know. Time has no meaning. It's all a flat circle.
It was last year because I remember playing it when we took an Airbnb in November.
Yeah, it was October of last year.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I could totally see them focusing on doing something like, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. Just let people replay those. Hell, just let me have Wind Waker on the Switch, please.
I know, playing it today on the Wii U, I was like, God, this looks fucking great. Like, just to be able to have it moving forward, just give it to me on the Switch too. So I have it digitally. I was like, I should maybe get this physical, just to have it in case whatever happens to the digital stuff. And it's like $90 for that game now.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, whoops.
I'm glad well,
You have the GameCube.
physical for the Wii U. Did they do a physical HD remake?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I have the original.
Yeah.
Still, my GameCube copy of that. I wonder how much that is now.
I wonder.
Let's check. Hi, eBay. Windwaker GameCube. So just the disc outside of packaging is $50.
Jesus.
It's not that. With packaging, $85. Oh no, there's a pre-owned down for $38, but I don't know. Seems like it's floating between $70 and $80 normally.
Oh, that's the same as the Wii U one. 90 that I saw today.
Was that the one that I also got the? There was I think that because I pre-ordered that and I still have this disc because I have Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah,
GameCube.
Right.
And it came with a Master Quest.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a double. It's the double pack. Which I've never played on the GameCube. I still
that's
have
funny.
them. No. Those don't go for that much either. They only go for $70 for those.
Must have been
okay. Good to know. Not rare. Not a rare commodity.
Exactly. Well, if it comes out for Switch, probably drive those prices down even more. And maybe the Wii U version is what drove those prices down because there's more access. I wonder. Do you think that the Wind Waker Twilight Princess are going to be two different games, two different SKUs? I mean, or do you think it's going to be like a double pack?
I would expect two different SKUs.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, it's
Probably.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Why would they undervalue what they have there?
Right.
Like, Nintendo is like people give them crap for keeping their games not deep discounted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I mean, you can give them crap for it, but they also just understand the value of their property.
Yeah.
And they know to value the things that they make and be like, it's worth this much money. Like, and clearly that's worked out just fine for them. So I don't see them packaging those two games together.
Yeah.
I totally see them being like, no, they're separate. Like, aren't they worth it separately? And I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy them both.
They're good games.
I'm gonna buy them both full price. Yes.
I don't know if I'd buy Twilight Princess again.
I actually I do have the Wii version. I bought it used for really cheap. So.
I have the Wii version as well.
Yeah. I did not.
And
buy
I didn't love
remake.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah. I heard that the dungeons are good in Twilight Princess. Maybe that's.
They are. They're good dungeons.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Wind Waker, where I'm like, I love Wind Waker. Twilight Princess still very much felt like Ocarina of Time was really popular, was well received, and you can definitely see the threads between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. They're very similar games, in structure and how you play. And like Wind Waker, though, was like, no, let's do something new.
Yeah.
Go. And it felt really refreshing. Where I just back in the time in what that would have been college, Twilight Princess I was like, cool, it's another Zelda game. Feels like a Zelda game.
Yeah.
And I've now realized I like it when Zelda tries to do something new.
Yeah. After Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice, fucking Breath of the Wild, and then they did a remake of Link's Awakening. We've got the remake of remaster of Skyward Sword. If they do these two, like the Switch is going to become like the Zelda machine.
Yep. Play them all. Because I think even through the Switch Online, the SNES stuff there, you can play Link to the Past.
Good point.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, you can. You can play Link to the Past.
And you can play the original Zelda, I believe, as well.
Yep, the original Zelda, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, all on the Switch. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you'll be able to play it all if they do it. You'll be like, here, you can play all the Zeldas on one console. That'd be really cool.
Do it, Nintendo.
Yeah, but I think you're right from the marketing standpoint. There's no reason that they're probably doing a first-party direct anytime soon. Yeah,
doesn't feel like there's anything large to talk about for the year from the first-party perspective until they get to the end of the year or January.
Yeah, the only thing I can see them doing is like, so they'll do another like focused direct. So like we got the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 direct. I'm sure there's going to be a Splatoon 2, Splatoon
3.
3 Direct.
Yep.
Just kind of in-depth stuff for any of these bigger games, but I don't know if the next Direct would be first party, if they'll just do another Direct sometime towards the end of summer that's just like, here's another hodgepodge of things coming out from first and third parties. Just some updates on things.
Silk Song release date.
Yeah, there you go. So I don't know what's up with them. It's very weird that they dropped Bayonetta 3 just the way they did, and similar to how God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Just dropped. I'm like, what is going on, guy? Have you just decided it doesn't matter? And I guess it really doesn't matter, is the thing. Like, these are properties that are going to sell with or without doing a big Direct.
Well, the pre-orders for Ragnarok are crazy right now. They didn't do anything. Yeah. And, the people like us, I guess maybe are the people who watch the Directs. So we're going to get the news no matter what, so they can spend less time and less money on those Directs and just put out a fucking tweet.
Kind of.
Feels like that, which is fine. I just want to know. I just want to know. I don't care.
Kind of why I don't know if E3 is really ever going to matter again. Like, ReedPop may want to. They took it over, and they're going to want to try to do a big E3 next year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think the big companies care anymore overall. Like, they don't need to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So why would they spend the money on it?
Well, Nintendo went from like live to directs to this year, like, no, we don't even need that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to, like, why are we spending money on this? We could spend the money on it. It's probably all part of their marketing budgets. It's like, well, there's better things to spend our money on marketing.
Right.
And how we go about marketing things. Yeah, I think this is another thing where COVID is changing the landscape. And this has, the last few years, has just made companies reevaluate how they actually need to announce things.
Yep.
It's crazy, actually. But, I mean, I guess this makes the directs that they do have more interesting whenever they do more directs and more showcases for indie stuff and third party.
Well, if they're as good as the last one.
The stuff that needs that marketing push.
Yes, exactly. Like, the first party Nintendo stuff fucking doesn't, and not in that format. Like the casual player or gamer or whatever is not really watching directs, I assume. So, yeah, the E3 as gamer Christmas is changing. Which is fine. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited though to see it. It turns the excitement cycle from like, okay, that one day in June to like, oh, it could be next week. There's something this week. There'll probably be something next week. I guess the other rumor is the 2D Donkey Kong. They're talking about EAD was working on that.
Okay.
But who the hell knows? It's all rumor.
Yeah. But well, yeah. Speaking of announced games, this is a little side thing. Digital Extremes, who make Warframe, had their big yearly convention, and they dropped in there. There was like a expansion for Warframe, but it's actually like a roguelike in there.
Oh,
like
really?
A completely almost separate game that's a roguelike inside Warframe, which I'm curious to try. But I mean, I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, this could just be its own game. Like, that's cool. I guess you're sticking it inside Warframe, but it could just be a standalone Warframe game outside of the main thing.
Well, it's a free-to-play game, isn't it? Warframe?
Yep.
So I guess they don't need to really have it be outside of it.
No, they don't. That's the thing.
More, yeah.
But that's the scale of it.
Wow.
Wow. Like going, oh, this is like a whole, like you're using your Warframe art assets and what you've created, but you're creating a whole new game from that.
Mm-hmm.
But they announced after, I think they've been doing Warframe for like 9 years, their next game, which is Soulframe, a fantasy MMO with an emphasis on melee combat, with taking heavy inspirations from things like Princess Mononoke and the Neverending Story.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool.
Very, very different. Very, very different. And they showed a trailer even of it, and the combat looks, I think that's why it's its name, Soulsy.
cashing in on the Dark Souls.
I guess so. I feel like they should just call it Souls Frame and just be in on the joke, because I'm pretty sure everyone's just going to call it Souls Frame.
That's such a departure, though. It seems, because I thought Warframe was like a first-person like mech shooter kind of thing, or robot shooter. Or
third-person mech shooter. Yeah, but it's fast-paced, very fast. Third-person shooter going on, with like a huge emphasis on mobility. So like, if you're good at it, there's a high skill ceiling to actually moving through the levels with like wall running and sliding and just keeping very high momentum everywhere. I could never get hugely into it, but a lot of people I know, or at least a chunk of people I know, have put a lot of hours into it and do really like it and are really invested in it. The Soul Frame stuff looks much more up my alley of like, it's probably going to be free to play, so why not just try it? And I'm here for a new fantasy MMO, trying to do something with it. And I guess they consider Warframe an MMO as well.
That's how I understand Warframe as.
Yeah, it's not like your traditional MMO like a World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14. It's more like the Destiny-ish MMO style, like shared instances, things like that. Right. So I assume that this is going to use that same networking back in that style. But it would be nice if there's some just deep fantasy action MMO. That could be fun. I'll be honest.
Well, they've been so successful, I guess, fiscally with Warframe as free to play.
Yeah.
It seems highly likely the next one is.
Yeah, I don't see why. They've been successful. They know the business model.
Yeah.
They know what players their audience likes, and generally people have been receptive to their free to play model.
Right.
So it's not as simple as like Path of Exile, which is just cosmetics. Like Warframe, you can kind of just buy some power if you want to. You can definitely buy time savings. I know that for sure.
Right.
There's a lot of cosmetics as well, but you can totally just buy time savings if you want to.
Ubisoft model.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably closer to that.
Yeah.
Looking at this, they say Soulframe is going to have a large open world hub serving as its overworld. And then you can take up missions that send you into procedurally generated areas to do your questing.
Mm-hmm. Is there a release date? Is it this year, next year?
No release date.
Okay, they're just saying, hey, we're
starting. They put a trailer and they're working on it. They're like, they basically wanted to announce it. It seems because the main the director of it was the director of Warframe, and it was announced that he was now they were changing the director of Warframe to someone new to get out of front of people being like, this is only happening because we're working on something else.
Yeah. He's getting fired or whatever.
He's not fired, he's not leaving, and he's not wanting to abandon the studio. He just wants to make the next thing.
Right.
So I think some of this was all timed around that to ease worries and fears as well.
Yeah.
Hey, we're still stable, everything's good. But I'm excited. I would expect probably a couple years, probably 2 was my expectation.
Yeah.
Because the trailer looked decent. It feels like they have enough of what they're talking about, idea of what they're making, and visual style, what combat kind of looks like and feels like. So probably 2 years would be my expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty neat. And then what wasn't neat? Do you know that all mobile developers are fucking idiots?
Well, apparently, if they don't monetize their shit, they're all fucking morons. Jeez, dude.
CEO of Unity, man.
Whew.
John Riccatello dropping I don't know what I would call them, laying down the law on mobile games. I don't know. But he is the Unity CEO now. He was EA CEO whenever they bought PopCap.
So is he really right before Peter Moore? Was he the CEO after this guy?
Same
role. I guess I'm asking same role, right?
No, because Peter Moore wasn't. No, CEO became, crap. Who's the CEO right now? Because he's the same. Andrew Wilson is the CEO.
Oh, okay. So he's okay.
Because it went Rick Tello left, and then it became Andrew Wilson, who is still the CEO.
Got it. Okay.
Rick Tello left EA about a year after the PopCap acquisition.
Oh, interesting.
To go to Unity and make a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could have probably said it better. But his basic thing was like, Unity is actually merging with an ad company.
Yeah, it's like Iron something or other.
Yeah, this whole like ad backend type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked into it. I haven't used Unity in many years. But then it's mostly going into the fact of being that, like, in the mobile market, you'll have the people that are like really focused on, they want to make the super artistic game and like really just not really think about it as a business at all. I would say just be like, I'm just making this art for art, and people will love that, and if I do it well, people will buy it and give me money.
Right.
And he's basically going like, no, like, if you're making a game on mobile, you need to be using this stuff. You need to be thinking about how you're going to keep people attached for an hour, how you get people to spend money, because if you don't, you're not making a second game.
Right.
Because none of the artistic stuff just doesn't usually boil to the surface on the mobile market right now, and in a lot of ways it doesn't in other markets as well. It's hard, but you at least have a bit better chance on consoles and PC at this point. But even there, just making a good game doesn't necessarily make you money anymore.
Right. Oh, it's like any medium right now.
Yeah.
There's more stuff than there is time. So it could be the best. There's like best books, best shows, best movies. I haven't seen any of them.
Yep.
So,
and I think he just is very blunt in his statement of being like,
"Whoops."
Because this thing, it's all very small portion of the game industry that works that way. That way being like, still his metaphor was like Ferrari and some other high-end car manufacturers still use clay and carving knives to make their cars, and he's like, they're game developers that still work in similar fashion. They're brilliant, pure people. They're also some of the biggest fucking idiots. And it's just a clash of that. Like any medium, anytime you're creative, of like, what are you doing it for? Are you trying to make this a business where you're making money to continue making this stuff, or are you just doing it to be creative,
right,
and put something out in the world? And you kind of have to make that choice at some points. And it's a hard line to follow as someone who has been in the creative field for a long time.
Well, I saw
business and art intersection can be rough sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like I'm doing this thing like the game jam you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you shove some microtransactions in there? No, that's not the game that I want to play. Well, the game you want to play isn't the game that we want to sell.
Exactly.
But Ben Esposito had like a response to that. He's like, apparently I'm the biggest fucking idiot ever, even though I had like the #1 iPhone game or whatever with Donut County. He had
the #1 paid.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Game, which is a fraction.
That's true.
Of the #1 grossing.
Right. Good point.
That's the thing. Like, I can go into the paid apps. Yes, there's all sorts of great stuff in the paid apps on iOS. It's just only like 2% of the market.
I guess my point was, though, that he made enough for it to be worthwhile, and he's moved on to Neon White, and that seems to be doing well. I don't know.
And that would be probably 0.0001% of the games getting thrown on there.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. It's always a choice. That's why I said there's always the hard choice being made of, do I want to make a game? If your goal is, I want to make a game to make another game to stay afloat so I can keep making games.
Yeah.
You should think also on, what is my best chance of making actually making money off of a game.
Yeah.
And think through that business side of it as well. If you're like, well, I'm just going to make a game that I want to make, that I enjoy, and I'll just be happy it's out there, and if it makes money, great. And I get to do something else. That's a completely different way of looking at things.
That's my entire philosophy for music.
Yeah, and that's fine, because you're not also trying to make a career off of it.
No, definitely not.
Like, you're not trying to like pay your mortgage from your music.
Exactly. That would never happen.
Yeah, but if you had the mindset of going, I want to pay my mortgage with my music, it would change how you made music. You would change how you have to think about distribution, marketing, how you want to monetize it, how you do that. And it's different. I would say anyone who wants to make a living off of being creative, it's a different proposition than just being creative.
I feel also in some way it kind of doesn't kill, but like I've got to do this as a job, so I've got to do it even when I don't want to do it. You know, like creative. Yeah. The muse is not striking tonight. Doesn't matter. Got to do it.
Still got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to plenty of authors that are like, muse isn't striking. You just got to write though.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, and God bless Stephen King. Just give a little bit of that to George R. R. Martin, please.
Oh.
Sorry. Keep bringing up that name, and we always get sad. Oh man, speaking of sad, I have fucking Comic-Con tickets. Obviously I'm not going because no, but Becky Chambers was having an event. I think you read some of her books.
I have not actually read her books.
Oh, I thought you had.
My wife has read her books.
Okay. So I get an email the day before it's canceled, and I call in. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, what are some options? And in time, they're like, oh, you know, it's just the state of the world right now. I'm like, yeah, COVID cases are rising. I'm like, yep, she is sick. So that was a bummer, man. But she's putting out books, which is nice.
Yeah.
But man, I was so excited to go see her. My first like real event in like 2.5 years, and then it got taken away because of COVID, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's going to be happening a lot. I kind of feel like. Yeah. Unfortunately, but it's true.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is our new normal.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
yep.
Like it's not ever going to be the way it's before pandemic time. Like things are just going to happen like this. We're like, oh, there's a spike in cases. Okay, I guess things aren't happening for a bit.
Yep.
Okay. Next.
Yep.
Which is fine. I just accept that that's how things are now. But man, that's sad that you didn't get to see her.
I went and picked up my books, and she had signed a bunch of book plates. So I basically just put the book plate in my books, so I sort of have signed books, which is fine. But I wanted to hear her talk, and
sure,
that would have been cool. But they'll redo it, and when they do, I'll go eventually. COVID.
Yeah, it's still a thing. Still going.
Yes. Comic-Con, so Pride just happened down here. Comic-Con's happening next week. Boy, we'll see how things go down here.
Yeah.
Ugh. How about happy stuff? What have you been playing?
I got 12 new achievements of Vampire Survivors.
Oh shit! Is it the end? They put the final thing out?
No.
Oh no!
Of course they haven't.
More shit coming out. Okay.
No, they're at like version 0.8.
Oh, okay. They're not even at 1.0 yet.
No, not even close.
Wow.
There's a lot more even gameplay in there now. Like there's a ton of gameplay in different. I didn't know how it was gonna evolve, but there's a lot going on in that game.
Still $3.
Still $3. There was like 12 achievements I didn't have because I hadn't played the last 2 updates. And so this weekend, for it to have some chill time, I was like, I'll do that. I'll get the 12 new achievements. It took me like four total runs, so a couple hours.
Yeah.
And got them all. God, it's such a deal for $3. The game is so good.
That's unbelievable for $3. I put several hours into it. I was like, I got my money's worth. I'm great.
I am at 66 hours.
Holy! For a $3 game, I feel like
so good.
I feel like they could the $3 maybe is like what enticed some people, but like 5, you could have done 5. I wonder if they're kicking themselves like, oh shit, we should have done 6.
No, I don't think so anymore.
No,
I think they're making enough money that they're like, sure.
fucking great. And they got it on Xbox Game Pass, so I'm sure they got money for that. Oh,
Yeah.
I know they did.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't think they're hurting at all for money. I mean, it was a single dev to begin with. I'm hoping they got more people because the art has been changing a bit too. They've been cleaning up, like redoing some of the different art, making it cleaner and nicer and easier to discern. And but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's still a ton of fun.
Dang, that's
and
cool.
I'll wait, and probably in a few weeks there'll probably be another update because that's how it works.
Yeah.
It seems like they go every between 2 to 4 weeks between updates. And new updates always come with achievements, and I need to stay on top of that because I've got 123 of 123.
Do you know if that game's on Switch? No, it's not. Obviously, it's early access.
Not
still.
yet.
Duh.
I assume it will be on Switch eventually, like once early access. Even if they don't do it, I'm sure someone will pay them to, hey, can we license this to port it?
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
We want to make some money.
I feel like that's such a good Switch game.
Oh, it'd be great as a Switch game. Yeah. So when talking about games I played, I've made a game.
Yeah.
Played the game I made, and then I've played this, Vampire Survivors. That has been my week.
That's a pretty good week.
It was a great week.
This week I played one game, and it's Red Dead Redemption 2. What the fuck?
Wow.
So I didn't think about one of the benefits of the PS Plus Extra. Because I have a digital PS4, I can't play my discs on the PS5. And, I could hook up the PS4 Pro again, which I just haven't. But all the games that I have on disc, or a bunch of them, are just there that I can download. So I just downloaded RDR2 and picked up where I left off seamlessly. It was great. And then I've put, I don't know, over the last week, probably 6 hours in, 5-6 hours. It's slow, methodical gameplay, just like we all knew when it came out. Open a drawer, it's very slow animation, and you pick through the drawer, and everything's just very slow and methodical. And I don't know, it just feels like something I wanted to play this week. So that I kind of wanted to check it out, and because I had it on Extra, it's like, oh yeah, I'll check that one out. But the writing is what's kept me. The writing, I didn't expect it to be so good. It is so engaging. Like the banter between the characters, like the world they're building around these characters is super interesting. And I know how the game ends because I listened to a bunch of podcasts back in the day when I was like, oh, I'm never gonna play this game, I don't care. And it actually makes it better for me, and that usually is the case. So I can see some of the foreshadowing of how it ends and how the characters are acting now. And it's just, I don't know. It's been fun. The thing that's weird about it, though, it is so slow and methodical. But when you do missions, you earn medals for completing certain actions. And a lot of when you're done, you can then, you finish the mission, you get your, I got a bronze or a gold or whatever. And then you can see the list of things, and you can choose to replay it, which I'm not going to do. But a lot of the things you do on the mission are do it within 30 seconds. Do this within the minute 30 or whatever. So like time-based. And the time is like fast. And it's such a weird juxtaposition between like the slowness and the richness of the game with, if you want to get all these gold medals, you got to go as fast as fucking possible. And I don't know what the deal with that is. But I'm going to play it for another couple of days until Tuesday. Tuesday, Stray comes out. And
that would do it.
I've been biding my time. I didn't want to start anything new. I just wanted to, play something I'd already played, and that's what I landed on. And then I'm going to drop it and play Stray. And Stray, did you see the trophies get released?
Yeah, it doesn't seem that long.
No, if there's a speedrun trophy for 2 hours, beat it in 2 hours, that must mean the game's no longer than, 5, 6? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that long. It could be longer that if there's a lot of padding kind of content.
That you skip for a speedrun or whatever.
Yeah, but it's hard. Just having that information, I have no clue. Yeah. But I think 5 to 10 would probably be a good estimate there. But yeah, I don't imagine it's going to be like a hugely long game. be wrong.
I'm excited for that because I went from Elden Ring to Ratchet and Clank to Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are all long games. So something short would be nice. I want to get back to Elden Ring, but I don't know what is stopping me. Just darkness.
It's darkness. And sometimes when you step away from a game, it can be kind of a pretty big hill to get back on.
Yeah.
To get over, to get back to playing again. I know how that goes. But that's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Stray. So, Red Dead Redemption's been great. The writing's been fucking awesome. So I'm hoping to continue with that a little bit more before Stray, and then we'll see after Stray what I do. And that's it for my week, except for a little bit of Windwaker today with my daughter. Because my daughter, we know we were playing Triforce Heroes, and then, I don't know, she's like me a little bit. She's like, the mornings where we're together, she's like, can we watch Flora's Lava again? So we've been watching the Flora's Lava on Netflix again, and making our whole house into a Flora's Lava course.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So, lots of fun times. And she had summer camp and loved that, and yeah.
My kids have summer camp tomorrow.
Nice, mine too.
They start for the next week, an outdoor kind of. They do it's the wilderness program stuff they do through the year, but they're doing a week long. I can't remember exactly. Each of my kids is doing a different one, a different focus. So I should look exactly what they're doing again. It's been a few months since I've signed them up, so I've kind of.
You're going somewhere and doing something.
Yeah, I know where you're going. I know where they're going. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I'm sure they'll have fun. They enjoy it. They get to run around in the woods and have a great time.
My daughter's doing an outdoor craft camp. Last week was
nice.
Food camp. This week's crafts. So she's looking very forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, this was episode 346 of Prof and Dev Play Games. If you like us, please rate us on your podcast service of choice. For all the episodes that are publishing this month, for all the downloads for those episodes, we are donating $1 per to various charities to help people in the wake of the Supreme Court doing dumb things.
Yes.
About bodily autonomy, and abortion rights. So, please download, tell a friend or 5, and we will see you next week, where we will talk about those mystical Nintendo announcements of the coming week.
Later, everyone.
See ya.